In this video we're going to look at how to do renderings in OnShape, and to do this we have to go to the App Store and go to one called Reality Server. I've tried 3 out of 4 of these, and if you're planning to spend no money, Reality Server seems to be the one. So I've already clicked the subscribe button, but what you need to do is subscribe, enter your password, and then back in OnShape, when you've got it open, you can go to plus, add application, and Reality Server will be waiting for you. The way it works is to give you 2 hours per month, which doesn't seem like that much, but if you're efficient and you know what you're doing, you can pump out a few high quality renderings in a fraction of that time. And when I say high quality, out of the ones that I've tested, it's the only one that let me set my own custom resolution. So in this example I went for a 10,000 wide pixel render, and you can see the quality is actually really good. When we're doing pit display graphics that need to be high resolution to not pixelate, this is the only one available out of the free ones that will achieve this for us. Once we start the app, it actually starts up our own remote server, and we have dedicated use of that. We can do whatever we want, and the clock keeps on running the entire time. So it really pays to watch a video like this first and be really efficient when you get in there. So you can get in, set it up, do your render, shut it down. Otherwise you will run out of hours. It goes without saying also that you should make sure you've changed your design as much as you're going to change it, because you don't want to waste some time out of your free 2 hours per month and then have to come back and redo something and waste even more time. Okay, I have a saved scene, but if you didn't, you would go to Create and then pick what you wanted. We might as well do a new one here, and we'll set the quality to fine and click Start. When you are using it by the time, waiting for all of these little things is quite agonizing, but generally it's quite reasonable. When I made this really high quality render here, it only took rendering time of approximately 5 minutes. Okay, you'll notice the image quality improves, and that's the way a renderer like this works. We have our camera controls up here, and then we'll get right into the nitty-gritty. First thing I like to do is to set my environment. So let's go for something like a backyard for this one and click Apply. And you can see that it goes grainy, and that means it has re-rendered. Now the reason we can't see anything in the background is because we have to come to this one here, the environment background color, and click Remove. And now it will remove the white and put in the one that we asked for. And if we spin around the camera, and wait a couple of seconds, we should be able to see our background. So the one I've just chosen is not particularly good, so let's try something like Bright Roof Multi. And we can also spin it around as well. And we'll try one more. Donut Primary Light. Okay, this one is going to have to do for now. One of the problems is that it looks like it's floating in midair, and to fix that we have to come to the Change Ground Shadow options, enable it, and click Auto Ground Height, Apply, and OK. That's going to plant it onto the ground. And put the shadow in the correct place. Okay, you can see that we're starting to get our scene looking a lot better. We've got some interesting lighting here. The next thing we need to do is to open our Material Manager. This is a really easy to use interface. You basically expand these various things and then you pick the exact type of thing that you're after. So I'm going to go for paint, and I might go for a metallic paint. And as soon as it's loaded and we have the image here, we can drag it onto the component of the car that we want to be colored. Okay, let's try that one again. And we'll also do the front wing. Sometimes with the materials you seem to have to do it a couple of times. There we go, a bit of a delay, but it's not too bad. Okay, for the wheels I'm going to set them to plastic, maybe a hard plastic in black. Now because the wheels are copies of each other in my assembly, I should only have to do it to one wheel and they'll all change. There we go, I can close that. It does a quick update. You can see we've got the really nice metallic spec here. Now another button you might need to use is the material editor. You can either click the body by the name here, or you can come to the eyedropper and then click on something and it will click it for you. So just then I went to the tire, and depending on the material there'll be all sorts of things that come up here. So for instance, if I increase this number, it's going to change how smooth the reflection is in the background. So putting the roughness up, I have nowhere near a sharper reflection of the front wing. I'll just put that back so you can see the difference. And if we watch along this band here, we can see I have a much sharper reflection. So basically it's how realistic the image will be that it sees. We essentially use the camera to put the image however we would like it to appear in the final render on screen. We have some additional controls as well. If you're a photographer, you can change the aperture number and the shutter speed. We also have a focal point, and we can change things like the sun as well for the outdoor settings. Once we've set up everything the way that we want it, we still want to be very efficient with our time. So we would save our scene. And finally we click the save button. So we can put in whatever number we want here, and the bigger the number that you have, the longer the render is going to take. So you can come to custom here, put in all of this, but I went for production quality the first time, and this image here was 10,000 pixels wide, took about 5 minutes. This time I'm going to go for one much faster and see if it takes a lot less time, and then we simply click render. It's up to you if you want to go for a small image with lower quality to speed it up, or whether you want to use up a big chunk of your time to do one that's 10 times the size of this. And you can see on only 1000 wide, it's happened pretty much instantly. As soon as the stop button is grayed out, we're done here, and you'll notice that a new tab has been created in your OnShape document with the image. So if I go open image in new tab, I can zoom in and see that's pretty good for a couple of second render. That's quite good. So I might come back to Reality Server, and since I'm happy with that, I'm going to make one a fair bit bigger. Because see, I'm trying to be as fast and efficient as possible to make the most out of my 2 hours. Okay, this one's done. That was only a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I'll come in and inspect it. You can see this one is a lot slower to load, so it's a much more high quality image. And once again, you can just save that, open in a new tab, whatever you need to do. And if I zoom in on this one, you can see that it's quite detailed, really quite realistic on that edge there. One thing you can't do in this is add in decals and graphics and things like that. If you wanted to have multi-car colors, you would have to split up the body using some of the techniques from the earlier videos just to be able to apply multiple surface colors and finishes and materials as you wish. So that is a limitation, but that's more of a limitation of OnShape rather than the renderer at this stage. Switch back to Reality Server. If you don't use it for 5 minutes, it will shut down your time to stop it from counting, but it's always quicker to come back to the home button and then to shut it down yourself. We will save on our way out. Okay, and now we switch it off. And I used roughly another 12 minutes for that one, and I did a couple of renders. So pretty efficient. If you completely finish your model, you can come in and pump out a bunch of renderings at pretty high quality, and you'll be able to get quite a lot out of that 2 hours. Now, if you need to, as part of your team budget, you can come to buy hours, and you might buy 1 or 10, something like 10 hours would be a very, very long time for a project like this. So $18, it's pretty good value. Or you could even go in bulk if you're in it for the long haul. And the good thing is there's no monthly subscription where your time whittles away automatically. That can just sit there and you use it as you need it, and you can get quite a lot of value out of it.